Hello everyone, this is David with the fish down in the basement. I want to do an update because I haven't done one for a while on white worms and some of the problems people have with them and what I think is the solutions for them. Now, this is my current mixture. I go through a lot every couple of days, and I think the first potential problem people have is the ingredients. Now, Arnold makes a 100% whole wheat bread, good product. Amazingly, I get this at Aldi's. It runs about, I don't know, $1.40, something like that. It's not the long, perfectly square loaf. It's the other one with the little grains on the top. This runs about $1.25, $1.40, less than $1.50. The worms seem to like this just as much as the Arnold. The other item, nutritional yeast. This is a brand you can get in the grocery store. I use the can. Where I actually buy it is at DeKalb Farmers Market. Nice little containers of it, and I just pour into the can. Nutritional yeast. Yogurt, that's a big one. This is the yogurt I use. If you make your own yogurt, use that. There's a Bulgarian yogurt, comes in a jar. You can get it at Sprouts in some stores. That's outstanding. You want real yogurt. You want the bacteria. This will tell you somewhere. The ingredients are like organic milk and living yogurt cultures. That's it. And look at all the different kinds of cultures in here. This is what the worms eat. The yogurt culture eats the bread and the yeast. The worms eat these guys. So it's a combination deal. This yogurt will last me, I don't know, 3-4 months. It'll go out of date. Doesn't matter. I'll keep right. Says it goes out of date in June 12th of 21. I'll probably still be using it. Until you see mold growing on it, this stuff is great. Tastes great. It's the same thing. It's already got the bacteria in it. So it's already fermented. So, I'm going to pause a moment while I put these things back in the refrigerator. Now, I cut the bread. I used to cut it into smaller pieces. I cut it, as you can see, one piece into 4. Have some water for collecting. I need to start a new one today because I got a couple that are getting older. This is just potting mix. Got some perlite in it, got some peat moss in it. When they say there's fertilizer, that usually means it's those little time release things. I don't see any at all in here. I add a little bit of water to this, a little moisture to it. The lid has an air hole in it. So we'll move one of these over to the side and grab the first couple of containers. Now, I think the other problem people have is they talk about they don't get the numbers of worms that I do. And I've been letting these do what I think causes that problem, and it pretty much showed it up. I tell you to feed every 2 days, 3 at the most. I've been going for a while only doing these like every 4 days, because what I hear people telling me is I open it up. One thing is there's too much moisture. Leave it that long, you collect moisture. I'll wet my finger and see. I mean, this, like, wow, this is terrible. There are hardly any worms. And they go, and they haven't eaten it all. Well, see, they've eaten all the yogurt. They've eaten all the nutritional yeast off. and they've left the bread. Well, you have to reach it. See, they've eaten some of the bread. They've eaten a lot of the bread. But at this point, they're not eating anymore. There's no more yogurt or yeast. They managed to consume all of that before the yeast consumed the bread. So we're not in balance really well here yet. This is not reaching a peak point. I got to step away now to scrape these off. All right, now, so here's our culture. It's got a lot of worms. It's just not giving me the millions of them that I normally would be showing you. But I've let these go for several weeks now, just doing them every 4 or 5 days to see if they ever actually eat all the worm, eat all the bread. They don't. They do not ever actually eat all the bread because it's the bacteria that eat the bread. It's the yogurt cultures that eat the bread. All right. Let's see how the next one's doing. Once again, we've got, garbage. And we've got lots of bread that's completely clean. No yogurt on it, no nutritional yeast on it. What we have in here is worms that are starving. You want to know why you can't raise worms like you see me do? You're not feeding them correctly. We've got to keep the yogurt and all the good stuff going. So, extra yogurt, extra nutritional yeast. We need to get these kick-started. Alright, there's those two. Let's set it aside and go grab 2 more. Alright, here's 2 more. Both of these are older cultures. And as you can see, I've got some worms on the lid, but I mean, this isn't going to cover 85 tanks, let me tell you. When I'm feeding every 2, occasionally 3 days, take the old stuff out, put new stuff in, I can feed 85 tanks every other day. Not a problem. If I don't keep them fed like they're supposed to be, now see, that's not bad. That's not bad. They're working through that. But if I don't feed them with the frequency I'm supposed to, I lose production. So here we are. In with the good stuff. And I'll let them work on that. This one has holes along the sides. Now this one's actually going to give me some worms, I'm happy to say. The ones on the lid can't go anywhere, which probably means this one's going to be the closest to crashing because it's been getting the same neglect of not being fed often enough as the other ones, and the worms are starting to abandon ship. These containers look like yours, just not as exciting as you wish they were. Well, as we've showing, alright, let me get these straight. There's 3 for them. See, that's going to be good stuff. We're going to plop those right there into the new one. If you wet your finger, you can usually keep them moving. I'm hoping that somewhere in here some of these look like yours look when you're going, I'm just not getting the worms. Well, if I don't feed every 2 days, all the time, I don't get the worms either. So, it isn't that you're doing something wrong, it's that you're not doing it often enough. Alright. Did we do this one already? Doesn't look like. Yes, we did this one already. Okay. So, we got lots of these left. We're going to take one of these and lay it across there. And come back to this one and give them another one, because we got plenty. So, we'll swap out one more time. And here's my last container. Looks like it's got a few worms in it. Some good worms down on this end. So I'm going to, see, they've eaten bread, they've eaten everything. I'm going to make a little space here. Wow. How's that for a worm start? Yes, sir. I'm going to put those guys right there. So, that gives me a good start there. And we're going to put a nice piece of food right on top there for them. And then I got two pieces here to go into this one. This one is getting, this is the good part of this one. And as you can see here, if you look in here, this is mostly just a very, very thick, heavy mud. There's some worms, no question. But this is thick, heavy mud. This is tired. Now, all of this with the soil and stuff in it has become mostly white worm castings, poop. So, being a gardener, I keep a bottle of bubblegum stuff going here with earthworm castings, and I will just drop that in there and it will all dissolve out and be fertilizer. Now I'm going to need a little more dirt because I can keep this going for a long time. I've got potting mix in here. See, I got potting mix in here. I'm going to fill that space up. And the space up here. And it's going to need a little bit of water. And this one will get a good chance. This one will really kickstart and rejuvenate in. Here's a brand new one getting started. I lost my little cover here. Take a little piece of filter foam. Where did my little cutout go? Wrong one. This one. So I want airflow, but I don't want bugs. And I'm going to put this one away. Now, the last item. A wine cooler. That one holds 2, 4, 6. Up on top is some garden seeds staying cold and mealworms for the birds. This one is smaller than a dorm refrigerator. I've seen them about the size of a microwave for $50, $60. You'll have to shop around to find them, but you gotta have it. If I put the light on, see if that'll show. Well, it's hard to tell, but it says 54 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a natural setting on a wine cooler. It's either white wine or red wine, I don't know which. But it's a natural, pre-built in, don't have to change its setting on a wine cooler. 54 degrees. And that's your other item, temperature control. Now, while you've listened to all this and go, oh, that's nice, but man, that's a lot of work. What you need to remember is what it is that you're after. What are you trying to accomplish? That looks like what you're trying to accomplish. You want to take that tank full of babies and you want to get them big and strong. And while it's not the only thing you want to feed them, it's definitely a good way to fill the bellies at an affordable cost. And it's high quality food. And they will eat it. And they will come back for more. And as you can see, it makes beautiful babies. I've got pairs of these ready to pull out, but it's pickup only. Go to davidwiththefish.com, check the availability for information. I have both the triple reds and the orange. These are orange, and as you can tell, they are triple orange. Look at that male right there. Boy, he is outstanding. And there's a beautiful female back there. The cherry barbs aren't doing too bad either. But one of the key elements is lots and lots of live food. White worms. They love them. I also feed bloodworms because I feed everything I can find. Let's try another tank. Here's my main triple red pair set up for spawning. Let's give them a little bit. And you can tell what a beautiful fish. And there's the female. And here's a batch of young triple reds. Starting to color up, sex out very nicely. And they know exactly what to do with the white worms. So this is the goal that you're after. So when I say every two days, occasionally 3, fresh food, take out the old food, get the wine cooler going. It's not a lot. It's not a lot to ask to be able to raise just huge quantities of live food for your fish. So this is David with the Fish. Go to davidwiththefish.com, check out the availability to see how these fish are doing. And the live food section will show you more information on white worms and other live foods you can grow for your fish. Thank you for watching.